If you're looking for a simple recipe to use your blueberries in, we've got you covered. How about a warm and sweet dessert?
Like a cobbler? Erica Schlick, author of Wandering Palate, is going to show you how to make her famous blueberry cobbler. Take a look.
Hi, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a blueberry cobbler recipe that is 100% paleo and grain-free and refined sugar-free. And we're going to start by making the filling that's going to go into it. And the filling is really going to be very simple. It's a lot of fresh blueberries and a little bit of sweetness that's going to tie it together. So I have a 1/4 cup of maple syrup here, and we're going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and I have 1 teaspoon of lemon zest, and I have 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, and this is gonna give it a really nice citrus flavor. And we're gonna go ahead and add in some spices. I have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and I have 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. And we're gonna go ahead and just start by whisking this together. And you don't need to overly combine it just yet. And what we're gonna do is we're going to add in a tablespoon of cassava flour. And what this is gonna do is this is gonna thicken it a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead and put this mixture on our fresh blueberries. And again, that citrus is just gonna come through so nicely on it. So once we have this combined, we'll just go ahead and whisk that one more time here, and it should be ready. And now the fun part, our blueberries. So I have 4 cups of fresh blueberries here, and we're gonna go ahead and pour this mixture that we whisked all over our blueberries. And then we're just gonna use a rubber spatula to make sure that they're fully combined and coated in the mixture. And this is all it's gonna take for our filling. And it's very simple, and it's really gonna come together once it bakes. So once this is fully coated, case a couple more spoonfuls here, mixing here, and it is ready to go. I have my baking dish ready. So this is an 8x8 ceramic baking dish, and I've gone ahead and greased it with some grass-fed butter. You can also use coconut oil if you're completely dairy-free. And we're just gonna go ahead and pour our blueberry mixture on in there. And that's all we need to do for this. I'm just gonna go ahead and move those blueberries around so that they're spread evenly amongst the pan, and that's it. We're gonna go ahead and set that aside, and now we're gonna make the crumble that's gonna go on top of it. And to do that, it's very simple. I have 1 cup of cassava flour, so we're using that in order to make this grain-free, and we're gonna go ahead and add in a 1/4 cup of maple sugar, and I have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, I have 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, and I have 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And we're gonna go ahead and use a whisk just to combine our dry ingredients, make sure that those are fully combined. And now we're going to add in a tablespoon of vanilla extract. And here is the fun part. We're gonna be using grass-fed butter for this, but again, if you're dairy-free, you can use shortening. You can also use coconut oil. And so this is 8 tablespoons, 1/2 cup of grated butter. And I like to use a fork for this part, but we're just gonna go ahead and get this combined. And this takes a little bit of work. You're gonna wanna really kind of massage this in there. You can also use a food processor. Just be really careful not to over mix, because this can easily turn into a dough, which you don't wanna do. And at a certain point, I really like to just use my hands and get it in there and create the crumble for it. So we'll go ahead and get that all mixed in here and get those crumbs formed. Okay, and once you have the texture that really resembles a crumble texture, now we can go ahead and start to put that on top of our blueberry filling that we've made. And for this, you can either use a spoon and you can just spoon it over. You can also use your hands to go ahead and just pour it on top as well. And our crumble is gonna be ready to go into the oven. And our cobbler is now out of the oven, and I baked it at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes until the top of the crumble gets nice and golden brown. And after that, the recipe just needs to cool for about 10 to 15 minutes, and it's ready to serve. I like to enjoy it with some vanilla ice cream. You can do a dairy-free version if you're dairy-free as well. And that's it. It's a very simple dessert that comes together very easy and is absolutely delicious with all that fresh fruit. So let's go ahead and do a little taste test, make sure it turned out good. So good. The freshness of the blueberries with the crumble on the top with just the right amount of sweetness is absolutely delicious. You can find this recipe on my website. It's thetrailtohealth.com, and you can also find other healthy and delicious recipes in my cookbook, Wandering Palate, which is also available on my website and Amazon as well. I hope you enjoy this recipe.